So, before I started in all of my journey, I was very big into cooking. I run my own kitchen, and I feel like this is a part of me that I don't share as much, and maybe I should. So, these are the ingredients you're going to be needing to make your ceviche, okay? I have some fresh shrimp in here that I'm going to devein and put some fresh sole that I got from the grocer today. Lots and lots of limes. Okay, this is just a couple. I'm gonna give you more. I like to put some bell pepper into mine, and this one looks mighty tasty. Red onion or regular onion, it has a different flavor and it adds flavor to this. So if you're gonna make, you can do it with regular onion. I don't suggest shallots because that'll overpower. But regular onion just doesn't have the flavor or the punch you're looking for. And we've got cilantro. Now, how much cilantro is up to you. Some people don't even like cilantro. If you don't like cilantro, don't put it in. But the reason why I'm doing this is because there are so many sides to myself and so many things that I have to offer the world that I don't do. So because, maybe I should do this over live. And I figured, I was like, you know what, maybe I'll talk about spirit. Maybe I'll talk about what's going on while doing this so that you guys can get a twofer. You know what I mean? You can learn how to make ceviche and you can learn about spiritual guanins that are happening in this world. Now, what I think is very intrinsic to explain to everybody, because I keep getting all of these naysayers every time, oh, this isn't the word of God, and this isn't this, and this isn't that. And I'm going to say to you, the world that is coming upon us, okay, is a lot bigger than the Bible. Is a lot bigger than any man-made creation right now. For all of us that came down into utero to live in this existence at this period of time, we came here specifically because what people don't understand is that, hold on, I need a knife. Is that we're in an ascension period, but what does that mean? Hold on, I'm going to also put my hair on. Get any hair into my meal, so I'm going to throw it up. Okay, why is this an ascension period? There were souls, okay, scheduled to be born at this time. The chosen, the 144, those that are star seeds. Oh, hold on, my deveinment's in here. So the chosen, the 144, all the star seeds, what people don't realize is that we didn't need to incarnate. We were asked to incarnate. There's a difference. Those of you that wonder, oh, how is there only 144? How is there only this many star seeds? The reason being is because during an ascension journey, let's say, for example, you're a soul, right? All I'm doing is ripping these off, by the way. If you were a soul that was destined to incarnate on this planet at this time, then you would have been just the regular revolution of the cycle, the revolution of incarnation on this planet, right? But what people don't realize is that the star seeds, the 144, they were asked to come here. It was out of their karmic cycle. It was out of their they didn't have to come down here. Let's just put it that way. They weren't scheduled to come down here. But because of the time frame of what was taking place here, I'm going to start cutting these into little bitty bits. You can leave them whole, but I like to leave them in little small pieces. They came here to open up the minds of all of those that were scheduled to be here at this time. Because each soul, like this is the one thing I must express. No one's special. You know what I mean? I mean, we are special in the sense that we chose to come here and we might have a lot more awareness than the average bear because that's what our soul blueprint designated, right? But what people don't realize when they're like, oh, I think I'm on an ascended journey too. Am I 144? Am I a chosen? And then some of you feel like, I don't know. I don't know what I am, right? Here's the thing. You are a soul. You are ancient, okay? Some of you are not so ancient, but some of the souls here are ancient, and you come to Earth. So, because Earth, if you could think about it, is one of the best karmic schools. Karma is a revolution of, let's say, a soul lesson school, okay? Earth is the best, one of the best ones in this galaxy. And the galaxy we are in is, boys and girls, do you guys know? Do you know what galaxy we're in? Any of you? None of you? Some of you? We're in the Milky Way. Milky Way galaxy is the galaxy that we are in. And the Earth is far reaching on the left of that galaxy. And it would be like saying we're the outskirts of the galaxy. But we are fundamentally one of the best soul schools. Like if you could put us as like Cambridge or Harvard or what other Ivy League school you want to put it. For a soul, that's what this place is. No one wants to come to this school unless they truly have to. Because if you think about it this way, you do one life on a planet like this. And your soul can go rocking it in different dimensions. Like let's say your natural dimensional self is a 6D dimensional self. And you decide to incarnate. That means to come down in your stream, have an avatar like I am right now, come to this place and actually rock it in this suit, okay? And you live that life, and let's say if you look at it like a video game, okay? You pass all your soul your soul journey. Oh, by the way, I am going to wash all this. I'm just separating it now, and then I'm going to wash it. I am just bringing it a little backwards. So what happens is that, and I'm just cutting these into pieces too. I do it with my hands just because I'm not too particular. I don't want to get my my board dirty because I'm going to be chopping up a lot of good stuff over there. So I just do it by hand. But you can put this on your board, whatever makes you happy. You can choose whatever sizings you want. And you cut them into small pieces because you have to remember these are going to go on tortillas, right? Or you can make them big pieces. It just depends. I like big pieces because I'm just a big piece type of person. But it depends on you. You can chop them up whatever way you see fit. Anyways, as I was saying, so we come to this planet, this Pokidoke planet. Beautiful planet, though. Beautiful. We have resources beyond measure. We have a lot of resources, meaning that we have gold, we have silver, we have iridium, we have platinum. We have all kinds of different goodies on this planet for aliens to want and use. But mainly why people come here as a soul is so that, let's say if, like I said, you're a 6-dimensional creature or being, and you're like, hey, I want to go to 7th dimension, or I want to go to 8th dimension, but you're carrying too much baggage to go there as a soul. Like, you're carrying too much karma as a soul to do that, because let's say if in your lifetimes, because you can incur karma, it doesn't matter what dimension you're in until you're past 12, okay? Because once you get to 12, you're no longer a dual entity, meaning light and dark. You can be a fully lighted, like, that's where people get so mistaken. They're like, oh, but aren't aliens? We've got good aliens, we got bad aliens, brothers and sisters. Like, everybody's like, oh, you know, the Pleiadians. Yeah, the Pleiadians are full of love and light. Like, don't get me wrong, right? They come from the other star system, which is Pleiadian. But let's just say, for example, you can meet Pleiadians that are not as well versed. I've never met one yet, but for example, let's say for me, okay, I have an 8D Anunnaki, okay, and this particular one wants to move from the dark to the light, or at least to find the middle ground, okay? So he's hitching a ride, or actually I'm still this is my higher self, one of my higher selves, okay? We all have multiple higher selves, by the way. They make up our oversoul, which is our highest self, meaning like the largest self. If you could look at your other higher selves as aspects of yourself, meaning like parts of who your ultimate self is, meaning like these are things that if you, let's say, got Alzheimer's or dementia, you'd never lose these parts of yourself. Like, they are intrinsically like your makeup. But let's just say, for example, you are a 6D being who wants to move into 7D. And you're like, how do I get rid of all this karma? How do I do this? How long do I have to wait to get through this karma? In a different planet, in a different setting, might take you millennia, 10,000 years, whatever the case may be. And in the midst of all those lifetimes, you're going to accrue some more. So people that want to go a little faster, they come to Earth to, and it's not to say that you can't accrue more karma. Like, don't get me wrong. Don't get me twisted. You can come to Earth and accrue all kinds of karma. But let's say, for example, you wake up in the middle of your lifetime and you realize, oh, if I do great works here, I can actually, rid of my karma, or get rid of my, when they say these generational curses, do you think these generational curses are just from your mom's mom? No, sometimes they can be from your mom's mom from Atris, or they could be from your mom's mom from Lyra. Like, what I'm trying to say is that my 8D being, right, my 8D on my stream, a part of my entire soul, we all share parts of the soul, one soul shared amongst your higher selves. They are all you. If you could think of it like this way, you have different avatars, but they're still you. You're existing. It's like when you go to sleep, right? Like, it's you in the dream state, but that's what you think, okay? But have you ever looked at what you look like in the dream state? Are you a man? Are you a woman? Do you know the answer to that? No, nay, you don't, right? What you do feel is that you're you. That's the best way I could describe what's going on with this higher self equation, okay? Because the thing is like, I myself get to meet them because of the gifts I have, but you can't say no to me because you don't even know you're you in your dream. You feel like you're you in your dream. Do you see mirrors? Do you look down at your feet? Do you have feet, for that matter? All you go based on is the feeling that it's you. You can resonate at that level. You know what you feel like. That's all you're going on there, boys and girls. So I'm just letting you know. You don't have to take my word for it. Please start like astral projecting and asking some questions when you're in your deep meditations. That really helps. But back to my story. So you've got a a 6D being trying to become a 7D being or start kicking it with the angelics. You know what I mean? That's a first dimensional platitude that the angelics chill at, but there's also other beings on the seventh dimension, etc. A lot of us here are made up of many different alien backgrounds, and that's going to surprise a lot of you. I'll give you an example. My 7D, okay, and my 8D don't get along, okay, or haven't got along. Like if how do I put this? My seventh dimensional self is me, standing here right now. I'm actually a 7D being in a 3D body. I was born into your butt. I have, let's say, a 7D guide. Okay, since I'm in the incarnate of the 7D myself, I have a 7D guide. My 7D guide cannot stand my 8D version. Okay, and the reason being is because that background, like I said, Anunnaki and angelic, may not get along. Why don't they get along? Because they are very similar, actually. They come from somewhat of the same genetic makeup. But doesn't change the fact that they were in wars together, doesn't change the fact that they accrued karma together. So when a being comes into this place that holds both of these genetic markers, these genetic makeups within their DNA, okay, because you have to understand how profound DNA is. Like, the double helix, it just looks like this. It's a freaking existence within an existence. Like, you could have a whole, like, the micro and the macro is amazing, because literally, if you look at any spiraling galaxy, kind of looks like DNA, and so forth and so forth. So to say that you are just one being, just human, that's a lie, because they know, even from science standpoint, we're not fully a 99.9% DNA from human. Okay, so that other percentage, we don't truly know where it comes from. So let's just leave it at that. But as you liven your chakras, you start to aliven certain parts or certain elements of your higher selves, meaning that you tap into those parts of yourself that you always naturally were. The closest you ever would have had this was when you were a kid. You were totally tapped into probably most of your higher selves, and that's why a lot of us had, proverbial, invisible friends and all that jazz, right? Because really, you're just talking to other beings that were your homies, probably back home. And when I say back home, that can mean different places for all of you. Some of you, like I said, are very closely tied to the angelics, but then you also have different ties to other planets as well. Because here's the thing, boys and girls, the planets and space is where they all come from. Okay? Light creates everything, including space. An angel can come to the 3D, but they have to come through the 7th dimension. That's the closest. This is the smallest container they can put themselves into. Now I'm going to go wash this. So I have washed my fish and my shrimp. This is what it looks like. I love how I'm doing this Alfred Bronte. Hold on. So why I'm telling you all of this is because I'm so turned off and peeved about all these people. You're telling people the wrong thing. I'm sorry to tell you this, everybody, but the way the world's going in the next 5 years is going to blow your freaking mind, okay? Not because of the whole alien thing. They're coming out of the woodwork. Some of them are not our friends. Some of them are our friends. There's aliens already been here for time. The reason why they haven't taken us over, I had one of my patrons ask me that. They don't need to. They have laws just like everybody else has laws. Now I'm cutting into, because of the size of my ceviche, I'm not cutting too much onion, okay? Because you don't want to overpower it, like I said before, with a lot of onion. Like, for example, reptilians and greys live underground. They've lived in, they're totally allowed to enter into the underground passageways, okay? Some humans as well. They found the entrances in Alaska and in the South Pole. There are some entrances in China, and they found some in Turkey after that huge, earthquake. But these passageways have been there for time. Plus, there's a lot of people talking about these underground entryways that the American government has had their hands on and has actually created, real pathways, actual highways underground. They crisscross the planet, but Agartha is a little deeper than what the Americans have created. And if you're asking what Agartha is a base, an actual base under. Well, there's entryways through the ocean as well. I mean, it's actually a whole other world. And I'm getting chimed in that I shouldn't be talking too much about this. But that's for my angels, just letting you know. Agarthans are underground. The reptilians and the greys also participate. There's very many types of greys. And the reason why I say this, and I say this again, not all reptilians are bad, okay? Not all of them. Not all of them. Because here's the thing. Reptilians, just like any other species, is overseen by their own species, okay? And not just that, they have higher ups than that watch over them. So when people say, why don't they just take over the world? They don't have to. Because there's these laws that they have to obey. And it's kind of like playing a game, right? They can't break the rules, because if they break the rules, they go down into karma. They don't want karma. They don't want to accrue karma. So they have to perform what I call, or like to call, loopholes. Okay? Now, if a human species, like us, forfeit a planet, or mess it up so bad that we can't even take hold of it anymore, that's totally different than them taking it over. They get leeway, let's just say, to have the planet should we fuck it up really bad. Now, the reason why they don't just take it over is because they have to do it strategically. If they just simply tried to take it over, they would have their higher-ups come on their ass, and their civilization would be in a lot of trouble. They might get demoted in a dimensional sense to the point that they wouldn't even be higher beings anymore, okay? No one wants to give up that type of power, just saying. So as you saw, I chopped up the onion, right? And you want it, like I said, sparingly. Next on the list is my cilantro. I've got like a handful full, okay? All right, so I'm going to chop this up. And if you guys are wondering how to chop, okay, if you are ever going to chop stuff, what I would say is you put stuff together, right? You can put it in your hand. You never put your fingers, always your knuckles, okay? Chop. That way you never cut yourself. And the knuckles are the wall. That's why I can look at you while I do this, because I can feel it, right? And then you get it together again, put it together, and then wall of knuckles. Put it together again, wall of knuckles. Hope that helps everybody. And then you just look at what pieces need to be cut up a little more. Wall of knuckles. It's not rocket science, but it does take a lot of practice, I will say that. So, the aliens don't have to take us over, because for one, there's a lot of their genealogical brothers and sisters, legit, like put it this way, like I said about these avatars, right? What people don't realize is that, this is my I'm going to be doing about half. And you want to devein this, okay? So what that means to devein is to actually take out all the white stuff, okay? You don't want the white stuff. It takes away from the flavor. So whatever way you do it, I do it with this big knife, but that's just because I'm comfortable with large cutlery, but you don't have to. So when it's deveined, it looks like that. You want to be cutting this into little tiny slivers, as I am doing like so. Okay, so back to the aliens, right? So a lot of their brothers and sisters are here, currently. We're incarnated as humans, but they're actual, like I said, there's an oversoul, right? They're brothers and sisters, like legit. Some of you could be brothers and sisters to these aliens flying around right now. They are here to either help, or they're just here to be a nuisance, some of them, because they can, until mommy and daddy get here, because that's happening, by the way, too. Delicious. They have and I don't know if any of you watch Star Trek, but the best way I could describe it is that there is a what's the word? Non-interruptus clause. Oh my gosh. Clause. Okay, so I'm putting about a handful. And did you see how much I cut up? It was literally like that much. Ooh, yummy. I love these. They're delicious. Non-interference clause. Thank you. There's a non-interference clause, meaning that aliens can watch us and they can participate. Because you wouldn't believe how many aliens you've met, probably. Because they can literally hide their faces. They can wear masks, okay? You can literally talk to people that you think are freaking human, and they're not human. You can even meet reptilians on a day-to-day, and you would never know the difference because they wear a mask. Just saying. So, unless you have your eye on, Okay, and even with your ion, it's still pretty tricky because they can prevent against that too, because we as human beings, like, they're well aware of our capabilities once we get our ion. So for me, how I can tell is because I had my eye on when I was younger and now I have it off, is that I can feel the difference now. I'm like a blind person. My sight is a little different. Whereas like when I had my eyeball on, I was so much blinder than I am now. Parents' clause prevents them from doing anything that would mess things up, like the timeline and whatnot. So that is why they don't just take us over. There is no need. Some of us are these beings, okay? Some of us come from the same homeland. I'm saying not as humans. We're all made as vessels as humans, but our soul is intertwined with these other beings. So they don't have to do any of this. Like, it's like as if, it's like saying to you, why don't you take over the colony of ants in your front yard? You know what I mean? Why would you do that? You could see the ants, you could watch the ants, you could do all kinds of stuff to the ants, you could participate in the world of the ants, but do you want to be one? Do you want to go and take over the anthill? No, not really. You leave the ants alone because you're a larger being, you're a smarter being, you're a higher conscious being. You don't need to take over the ants. So I hope that helps you understand. Because the whole point of this is so that we as our souls, like I said before, can learn. So we could definitely help ants, couldn't we? Couldn't we? Think about it. Let's say you see some ants struggling to get up a hill. You could literally pick the ants up and put it at the top of the hill. But you say to yourself sometimes, why would you do that? You know, A, there's no purpose. And two, maybe the ant needs to learn how to get up the hill. Maybe the ant needs to carve a path. Maybe the ant needs to learn how to take directions or figure out a mapping system within their mind so that they can, you know, show other ants how to go up the hill. I love this analogy. This is working a lot better than I thought. So this is why the aliens don't mess with us, because they don't have to. A lot of you are their progeny. Woo, baby. Like I said, on my stream alone, I have Arcturian, I have Karian, I have Syrian, I have, let's see, what else? Like I said, Anunnaki, I have Andromedan. There are many beings. There are beings that I haven't even heard of on my stream, okay? Like, I never heard of a Karian, but I met one, and now I know all about Karians. You know what I mean? I have another 22-dimensional being who's an overseer of overseers, and, you know, never heard of his type either, but... Oh, and another thing I'll let you guys know. Aliens like to wear clothes. They got fashion style as well. A lot of you think that they're so foreign. No, they actually have style. Like, they actually like wear clothing and wear dresses and shoes and the whole bit. Some of them put hair on themselves, some of them don't. Like, for example, my Andromedan is bald, but she loves to wear dresses, I'll tell you that much. She loves to wear her heels, I'll tell you that much. I was really surprised by that too when I started on my journey, but, you know, a lot of you, when you think of aliens, you think of these, like, hapless beings that you see on television and in the movies. But really, they're so much more sophisticated than us. We're actually the ants, like I said. We are highly intelligent and we have so much promise, but we are the smaller beings. And you know what? And just like ants, we impress them. You know what I mean? Because we're put in this, like, this body, you know, and we're cut off. Most of us from, you know, unless you really go searching in your soul and get out of those books, you know, because those books aren't going to teach you none of this stuff. I mean, they'll teach you about Yeshua, and once you access Yeshua and that consciousness, your mind may start to open. That's how it worked for me like 13, 14, 15 years ago. I started with Yeshua, right, and he guided me to all that there was out in the astral. He's the one who took me to Venus. He's the one that took me to Saturn. Because I didn't know how to astral project at the time, but the angels taught me how to astral jump. So many things. You have to realize that the way you guys see them in these books is so very small. I mean, they are tremendous beings. They can be, like I said, they start off at the 7th dimension. So as you can see, I am making enough juice, because what you got to realize is that this cooking is done by the limes. So you want it to kind of be enough lime juice that it's kind of swimming in it. All of your ingredients. And for those of you that keep calling me crazy, can crazy people go to work? Can crazy people paint a house? Can crazy people make dinner? I'm very much normal, okay? Not by your standards, by the way. Seemingly managed to navigate this existence while living in a higher dimensional plane almost the entire time of my life. It's been so hard, but thank the Lord. Thank the Lord, you know? Like, I hope you guys get to know Jesus in the astral sense, because he is super hella cool. Most of you chosens were being trained by Jesus. And if you just stick to your books, your one book, oh, it's so sad. I hope you guys find old ancient Egyptian history fascinating, because that's how you start to understand that even Yeshua trained and got taught in Egypt by the master magicians, because magic is the first religion that ever existed. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, please look up the word sympathetic magic. It'll help you along. Now, I'm going to keep doing more limes. That's why you need like a bag worth of limes to do this much juice. And if you look in here, you'll notice that everything's turning white, like really white. That means that it's cooking. Because when you start this off, it'll look transparent, right? Like most do. But once you're done, when it's cooked through, it's going to start to look really white. And you'll see what I'm saying as time goes on. So I'm just going to keep cutting my limes until I have enough juice covering all of these lovely, lovely pieces. And then when that's done, I'll add in the avocado. Because you don't want to really cook the avocado, but you can. Yeah, so that's it in a nutshell. I astral project, I astral travel, I can remote view. The one thing I'll let you guys know about remote viewing is that if you do it, they can see into you too. So try not to remote view on people that have that capability. It gets you into trouble. Mars has depots already. I have a one of my higher selves is a reptilian chilling on Mars right now, just to let me know if the timelines are all in order. So he's chilling in 2053, letting me know what's up over here. Mars is already founded by humans, by the way, just letting you know. There are humans already on the moon, Saturn, most all the planets actually, but Mars is one of the most common ones. So what you don't realize is that there comes a point where humans can actually go back in time. Some of you are these people, by the way. You actually came into utero again in this time, but you're actually from like 2250 or 23, because you have to understand that this evolutionary time is major. We make a huge jump in this time, but we still got so much longer to go as a species to actually like elevate to the 5th dimension as a species, where we like, you know, go in war, you know, past warp speed, where we use let's say magnetism propulsion for our ships, where we're no longer dependent on stupid shit like oil, when we start using crystals for energy. So many things that we could have learned from Atlantis if we hadn't been such suckers to listen to all the crap. You go back even 100 years to certain books and you'll realize that everything was about the ether. The ether, the 5th element, right? Ether. Do you hear about the ether anymore, boys and girls? No, really no. You know why? Because the Rockefellers didn't want that. If you don't know who the Rockefellers are and you've only heard about them in rap songs, please go read some books or go read up on your Google. Use your AI, because that's always where it's at, you know. You know, the audacity of humans to think that they could even work with something like AI is beyond me. I don't even know what dumbass started putting this in the hands of humans. This is the biggest mistake, I think, in my books, but hey, who am I? Who am I? We've had so many movies tell us of like the trajectory of how we will do with robots and all that jazz. We're not gonna do well. Just saying. The timeline you guys chose, beyond me. I'm a nature being. I like to be in nature. I like things that are, you know, easy. I like things like water and gravity and magnetism and sound and light. I'm a very basic bitch. But you guys all with your AI, because you honestly think that you're going to control it. This is like Adam and Eve all over again. And you guys are eating the stupid apple, you dumbasses, because realistically, we don't know enough about enough, okay? Sorry to call you guys dumb, not you guys, but like, oh my gosh. Drives me absolutely apeshit. Completely apeshit. But next, when you're done all this, add some salt. Salt to taste. And add a little bit of the olive oil. I just douse it. You know, I do it by eye. But really and truly, like the audacity of humankind, it's just like, really, guys? You're going to create a consciousness that'll outdo you in a matter of years? Smart. Really smart. It's bad enough we had all these jackasses trying to take over our sensibilities and our physical freedoms. But now you're going to use AI and they're just going to do it faster and you're going to lose all of it. All of it. Because I really feel like, does no one have this foresight? Does no one see the crux in all of this? Like, we're not that bright. Do you ever go to a Walmart and see what's popping over there? These people can't even get fucking pants on. You know what I'm saying? But you're going to trust that this civilization's got a handle on AI. AI is going to outdo us in the blink of an eye. So, we've got our avocados next. So, what's going to happen here is that the acid, see how everything's white? The acid's going to cook through all of your ceviche. And, yeah, I'm just going to cut up my avocados, right? So, I personally, I'm scared for what is to come because I don't truly feel like humans are the smartest tools in the shed, so to speak. So it is quite alarming. You guys are still stuck on the Bible. It's kind of alarming. But and the thing is like, I personally always ask, like, why would I come here to suffer through all this? Like, really? Like, my soul must have known more things than I do, because I truly question why I'm here every day. Because I'm like, wow, do I really have to go through this next 40 years and watch my son suffer? And then why did I ask to be here at this time with a bunch of degenerates? I honestly ask that question all the time. It's amazing to me how human beings can't see what's on the bend. Here, I'll give you a quick synopsis in case you guys are curious. So, they're going to set us up on a one monetary system, digital currency. They're going to control how we use our money. And when I say they, I mean the governments that are going to unite us with this currency altogether. They're already starting it in England, where they have stores that don't even take tender anymore. And then they wanted you guys all on those smart meters, right? And you think it's just like, oh, it's for energy consumption. No, it's not. It's so that we have eyes, Google Home, eyes at the home. Imagine this, okay? When COVID happened, you could leave your house, right? You could break laws, you could do whatever you wanted to do technically, right? But imagine a world run by AI, where if they say, oh, there's a lockdown and you have Google Home or a smart meter, here's what can happen, boys and girls. You don't want to comply, there goes your energy, they cut it off, they shut it off because they can. You have your digital currency, your digital passport, your digital everything, right? You don't comply with what they want, they cut you off. That is the breaks, my dears. So, AI is going to be watching us. They already do this in China, okay? And if you don't comply with where this new world order is headed, aka smart cities, you're going to control their money. And you guys are like, oh, but everything is digital. It's like, wait a minute. Now think about it this way. You take out physical cash, you could buy whatever you want, right? But let's say, for example, you want to go and donate to some freedom fighting like group because you don't like what's going on. Can't do it. Why? Because your money's monitored by AI. You do anything that's not of what they want. Those that will own those central banks or digital banks at that time. And they will set off red flags that you're a vagabond. You'll become a social pariah. You'll get kicked out of society. I think there was this movie a long time ago. I think it was it Justin Timberlake, or was it Matt Damon? Maybe Matt Damon. Where if you didn't comply, you literally went to the outskirts of town, and you had to scrimp up and save and do all these things. And here's another one that you guys don't realize. Okay, Monsanto, all those larger companies trying to perfect that GMO seed. Why do they want GMO seeds? So that when this all goes down, right? They're the only ones that can grow stuff. Because the problem with GMO seeds that people don't realize is that it doesn't self-propel. It doesn't regrow itself. Like seeds do, naturally, right? These genetically modified seeds are a one-time shot. They don't produce plants and fruits with regrowing seeds. So what happens is that, let's say, for example, we all go into this existence where we don't comply. We get put on the outskirts. We won't be able to grow our own stuff. Right? Interesting. And that's it for now, boys and girls. Hope you like learning about how to make ceviche. Have a good one. Love you lots.